Yo, what's up? We're live from Dave and Buster's. This is Carter. That's Juwan. Go ahead and introduce our special guest, Juwan, since he's one of your dear friends.
Special guest today, we have Adam Bernard, local South Florida Little League legend, coach legend, high school expertise. We're gonna dive right into it. Adam, go ahead and speak about why you're here today and just talk on your expertise and what you do.
So pretty much today, man, we want to speak about some underrated linemen, underrated guys in South Florida, and pretty much the recruiting process in South Florida, and the effects of these kids' lives, man, with this recruiting process. And pretty much, man, I've had a lot of experience coaching the youth and high school level, man. I also coach some college guys as well, man. So I can definitely dive into the offensive line portion, man. I'm always gonna stick to what I know best. You know what I mean? So
of course, most likely. I mean, you talk about offensive line, and that's what you do. That's your thing.
Yep.
I know in South Florida, we talk about the speed of South Florida, skill position.
Right.
We're always diving in on that. Give us a little intake on the big boy life, down here in South Florida, and how it can be underestimated being in such a gauntlet of athletes.
I mean, I think offensive linemen in Florida, man, are very underrated, man. They got a lot of guys in, getting recruited from California, the Midwest, stuff like that,
yeah.
man. So, these offensive linemen down here, man, some of these guys put in just as much work, if not more, as the skill guys down here, man.
Yeah.
And personally, man, the skill guys are lazy to me, and our linemen down here, man, we work real hard, man, and I think a lot of guys down south, man, are just very under recruited, man, and we don't get the respect we deserve down here.
That's right, and I think with having so many skilled players down here, a lot of old linemen can play those skill positions if they can, but with having so many, they lose wayside, and a lot of them do track as well. I know down here we have a lot of big man races in track, a lot of relay
Right.
racing and stuff like that. Just talking about linemen overall, I know a ton of linemen, but let's talk about a young kid. He's a senior this year down at Pace.
Right.
Kinley, talk about
Absolutely
his high side.
Kinley Yossi Mary, man, that kid is he's a class of 2020 kid, man. But it's funny because he's an April birthday, man. He just turned 16 years old. He's actually supposed to be class of 2022.
Baby.
But his family believes in education, man. They started him young, started him early, man, and that's a kid that he started this spring, man, at 330 pounds, man, and he's got down to 290 pounds. He's a lot more explosive, man. He's a lot more agile, and the kid's a physical specimen, man. He's a hard-working kid, man. His freaking attitude is just spectacular.
Yeah.
I've never seen a more underrated kid in my life.
Yeah, and you get a chance to actually watch him develop, watch him grow as you was coaching him, and going up against number one ranked player in the 2022 class in Shamar, and you can sort of see that development and how he's
Right.
taking on that already as a young kid.
Yep.
Yeah. Now let's flip the script a little bit.
Okay.
Let's move the pages a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
and talk about the skill position guys.
Okay.
You mentioned you coach Little League as well, and you're real in depth with the kids coming into high school ranks.
Absolutely.
This past weekend we had the Little League Super Bowl, and I was able to get out there and see some talent. It's actually pretty nice to look at Little League when we were in Little League and look at it now. And when I tell you, Carter, I mean,
It's
those
changed.
kids at 12U kids, look like they ready to go.
I know they changed the rules though, right? Didn't they change it to where it's not by weight anymore?
Correct. By age,
Yeah. The
And-
whole weight thing used to crush me.
Oh, man.
Absolutely.
I was like 150 pounds in 8th grade, and they were like, everyone your age is playing at 135. And I was like, well, shit, I guess I got to drop some weight.
That's right.
So I dropped weight, and I remember the day after I was literally at our producer Eric Rossi's house, and he had a Chick-fil-A tray of freaking just tenders. And I went to town. I think I ate back up to 150 in a single night.
And I think that's what's making it makes it look so much bigger now because it's age and
It's a lot more developed.
staying.
It goes by age. Like the weight's not really playing a factor in this point. So
not at all. And
it's getting more adapted to what they're going to see in high school.
exactly. And the skill set was already there. Now it's just
Yeah.
slapping you in the face because the size is with it, and it's getting crazy. You know, I'm kind of excited because you know when you get those kids that come to ninth grade and now you say, okay, are they JV kids? But you know they gotta develop. You know their bodies aren't ready for. Well, most of them, their bodies aren't ready for that stuff.
Unlike you, who was a freshman varsity player, you know, big guy over here.
I mean, you were in the same boat, but you were more put together. You were goddamn a linebacker. But you played quarterback in
I did. I played
Which was
QB.
weird.
I was like a Tebow. I just ran the veer
Yeah.
the whole game.
It wasn't fair.
No.
You know. You definitely should have been playing JV or something.
Yeah,
like that.
100%.
So let's sort of you know Adam speak on the kids and how you know the underestimated mantra of you know why we're here today in this podcast. Speak on the kids that sort of you know we talk about it every week, Carter, like get overlooked. I mean, you know,
Right.
You know, we see it a lot.
So I mean, we've got a local guy down in Miami Gardens, man. His name is Davion Gauze. They call him Bullet. He's the number one overall running back in the class, and you know everybody knows about the guy, right? But we also have a guy, man, at Pembroke Pines Optimist. His name is C.J. Dowds. He's a linebacker. Nobody speaks about this kid, man. He's 5'10" right now, 170 pounds. This kid is a specimen. This kid, his presence on the field, man, is just unbelievable. That kid's dominant. He's physical, man. This kid he's fast, man. Listen, he's everything a high school coach wants, man. And you know, we speak about another kid that played at the running back position. His name is Jordan Lyles.
Mm-hmm.
There's no words to speak for this kid. The kid's a grown man. His calves are like Usain Bolt's, man, and he's oh my goodness, man. He's a 4'6", 40 kid right now.
It sounds like it's gonna be hard to you know sort of stick or the linebacker. It's gonna be hard to kind of stick him in one position.
Right.
You know he's gonna be an all around you know guy for his team. You know, which is good, you know, down in this area. But you know, certain teams you go to, you know, they sort of put you in that position so you can develop. So,
Absolutely.
You know, hopefully he find a home in you know whatever school he lands at. Carter, I know we spoke. You know, I know we spoke about this. Let's swing into journalists in the media, and you know,
Lovely.
this is a strong topic because this goes from you know you can speak on this from little league, high school, all the way up to the college level in the NFL, and sort of how the media sort of manipulates certain topics or certain players. You know, right now, you know, in the media, it's going back and forth with you know Kaepernick. You know, it resurfaced. You know, with him getting a workout up in Atlanta, and it's sort of something that's you know sort of it's sort of who you trust and being in the
limelight,
the
yeah.
world. You know, you sort of know how it goes.
Yeah.
You know, sort of speak on that.
So, just to kind of hit on that, you know, as you're climbing, you know, from little league to high school to college, and if you once you make the pros, high school it's not really as bad. They actually are for you. Most people are in your corner trying to recruit for you, and they're really trying to push your name out there. So, the media in high school, it's fine. I mean, you got guys like Larry Bluestein who's really going to promote you.
In some cases, most
yeah.
likely, yeah.
And then, you know, once you get to the college level, it becomes a business. So there's a lot of money on the line for a lot of these programs. There's a lot of money involved. Mm-hmm. So some of these reporters, they'll put stuff out just to try to get noticed and try to get their name out there. So, I mean, I've had situations where, you know, we played Navy, I think, my senior year. I led the team in tackles, had a forced fumble. we didn't play the best game defensively because they were running all over us and we had no answer to their offense. Obviously, they run the triple option. So, but one thing that happened, a reporter released this whole article and kind of blamed the whole defensive scheme on me. And I thought it was, one player. think about that. And it was actually funny to me because at the time, you can't say anything as a player. I can't be like, oh, like screw that guy, like, and like go on Twitter and tell him all this crap because it's unethical to do it that way.
Exactly.
But now it's different. So, the thing about that is like, there's no need to bash one player. One, and two, if he knew more about the scheme that was happening, if he knew that our corner was just running in there, blocking himself, and then there's 2-on-1 fast breaks on the edge. If he knew like that aspect of the game, he would understand like, no, it's not this person's fault. So that's the stuff that like, I think if you're a journalist, you need to have more knowledge on the game in order to put a good input out there. And there's some good journalists that, I know from Cincinnati that have really stayed within what they know. They don't really venture outside of there.
Exactly.
They'll speak the facts, and that's really all they leave it to.
That's what it should be.
So that's what I believe the journalists should do. But, there's obviously their own personal agenda set aside for themselves, so they try to get that to the next level. So. Yeah,
and you see it a lot, and it's like, like you said, they go to reaching without figuring out. Yeah. And a lot of it's, they're trying to sway a certain crowd to their side. So they're trying to get somebody on their side.
Right.
And it's like at the end of the day, if you knew what you was talking about, I wouldn't mind. But if you're dead wrong, you got no clue.
Yeah.
The inside guys, people say they're inside scoop guys. They don't really know what's going on.
They know like the injury reports, and they know like kids that are probably going to commit. They know stuff like that, but when it comes to like the X's and O's, they don't really know much. The only people are really trusting that are the coaches. And if you're an analyst that played football and like you have a background in football, like, okay,
exactly,
you got my trust if I can talk to you about it and you got some knowledge.
It's crazy. I mean, we see it. I mean, like you said, it's not really too much on the high school level as far as the negativity or the bashing, but you still see it in some sparks. A lot of the coaches would take that and give it to their team as motivation.
Oh yeah.
But once you hit the college level, it's either you put in the work or you don't, and the team knows it. The team knows it, and the coaches know sometimes how an output of a game is going to be and what it takes, and media really don't affect them as much because they see it every day.
I mean, the only thing we can speak to from high school, I remember our senior year when Cardinal Gibbons had that really strong passing attack.
Yeah.
And, it wasn't the media that really pushed it. Obviously, Cardinal Gibbons, it was every year that they would try to push something to the papers and kind of get something out there to spark an interest in us.
Yeah, exactly.
And, they made something bigger than what it was. And it got them the recognition that they wanted. So, I guess they were successful, but, after the games, they weren't really successful.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's a game. It's really just a game of them trying to get the attention for their school and stir things up. And we talk about journalists, and we can sort of flip it. Right now we're dealing in a world, coming from little league to high school, we're dealing with the 24/7 sports, the rivals and all that.
Right.
Do you, Adam, this is a question for you. Do you think the ranking system, in high school, or even in Little League, because I think it's a lot of Little League now.
It is. It's horrible.
Do you think it's destroying, either, the development, or is it stopping something, or is it something that the game needs?
I've seen guys ranking 7-year-old kids. I mean, really? Yeah. You don't even know if the kid's gonna want to play football in the next 2-3 years. You know what I mean? And it's a lot to blame with the parents as well, man, because they allow this stuff. They always tell these guys, keep doing it, you're doing a great job. There's one guy that does youth rankings. His name is Jerry Williamson, man, and I really respect that guy's game, man, because he speaks facts on the youth system, and he's not ranking guys saying this guy is going to be the next high school all-star. You know what I mean? He's saying this guy has a potential to be a great football player someday. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I think it is killing the youth football rankings, man. Because I mean, Jesus Christ. I mean, like I said, you don't know if a kid will ever play this game again, and you don't even know about injuries, man. You know,
Exactly.
God forbid.
I mean, I think they're always going to be around. You
Right.
have to create some sort of hype around these kids
Buzz,
and some
yeah.
sort of marketability. So, whether you're a 2-star to a 5-star,
Correct.
you're marketable. So that's how I look at it from a business side of it. Is you're a 5-star. You're one of the most marketable people out there.
Yep.
Everyone's going to want a piece of this.
Yeah.
You're a 2-star, you're marketable, but you're to a smaller pool of schools.
Yeah.
So, I mean, even for the kids that are unranked, you're marketable. It's just about getting your name out there. And the ranking systems can be skewed. I think there is a lot of politics involved, but
Yeah.
that's at every level at this point now. I mean, you're seeing it with the college football playoff rankings. I mean, Minnesota beat Penn State, now Penn State's ranked higher than them. So it's like there's politics involved in all of it. So
Yeah.
that's just the nature of the beast.
Correct.
Yeah, it's politics all over, but I think the one thing that's sort of the central ground is you see a lot of people who are 2 stars, 3 stars, whatever it may be, and you're almost placed in the category before you even get your chance. You see it a lot on the college level where
Absolutely.
5 stars don't pan out to be the guys they
Absolutely.
supposed to be, and 3 stars end up being the best players we seen, goes to the league, and so I mean, not taking away from the ranking system, but the ranking system is meant for the media, meant for the fans. Oh, hoopla, let me go watch Alabama, let me go watch, what I'm saying. But at the end of the day, it's all in that person. It's either you can be a 5-star, and let's be honest, it's based off of your natural ability.
Correct.
You can be a 5-star, I can be a 3-star. We can both go to the same college. You can never touch the field, and I can play. And at the end of the day, high school predicted that. Or, you know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, what I'm saying is you still got to play. You still got to play.
Of course.
I
think one thing to build off of that is the choice of school really matters.
Oh, yes.
So, I mean, you could be a
Selection.
4-star player. You go to like the AAC or you go to a smaller school, you'll probably kill it. And I've heard people speak to this more and more is, well, why would you go to a bigger school and just be, 5-star amongst 5-stars? Because
Right.
you're competing with the top talent, yes.
Yeah.
But, you have to be realistic with your own talent. Mm-hmm. And I think some people will strive more in situations where it's more systematic. If you're a quarterback and you're a pocket passer and you go to Auburn, I mean, they want you to run the ball too.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's like, I mean, I know Sean White went there, and we all wondered where he was going to go when we were coming out. I thought he was going to go to North Carolina. I thought he was going to go to a bunch of other schools, and he went to Auburn. Everyone was kind of scratching their head. We were like, wait, why is Sean going to Auburn?
Yep.
And I mean, he did good out there for the time that he did out there, but I mean, that system is just so based upon a quarterback that can run the ball.
Exactly.
So
I agree.
I think the systems really do matter. Is where you're going to school, if you don't fit in that system, that it's not for you. Even if it is that dream school. Let's say you have Alabama and you have UCF.
Yeah.
Just for example, I'm not really a big UCF fan. You have Alabama, you have UCF. You're a wide receiver. Go to UCF. Why would you go to Alabama?
Right.
Yeah.
They're going to run the ball, and then they're going to throw the ball maybe 15 times a game amongst
Yeah.
a bunch of other really good players. You go to
Yeah.
UCF, they're throwing the ball the whole game.
Exactly.
You're getting the ball.
Yeah,
So
you
it's
gotta be smart about it. I mean, but that's what make the recruiting game so fun. It's like,
Yeah.
everybody's
chess
trying
match.
to get that kid, that one kid.
Right.
He has 20 offers. Everybody's trying to get that one kid. And everybody think he fits the system because he's good.
Right.
Until he get there and it's like,
Yeah.
He's a bust.
next year we're looking for that same one kid.
all I
It's
know
like,
is that Doug Emelian's going on a visit to Cincinnati this weekend. So the Cats are going to win by 90, and hopefully they get Doug Emelian.
Fantastic football player, by the way.
Yeah,
Fantastic
kid's a
football
stud, man. The kid's an absolute stud, and I'm really expecting him to go in, really like it up there. I kind of prepped him already a little bit, but I think he'll be ready to go.
think he gonna commit up there?
I don't think he'll commit up there. He'll make a commitment late, but
Okay. Little Carter prediction.
I'll be doing some push. I'll push. I'm going to be pushing for that one.
I mean, let's talk about high school a little bit and some of the, we're deep in the playoffs. I think this is probably the best week of high school, football we're gonna get down here. Pretty much every game is down in Broward. We got Dillard and Central. We got
Central.
We got Western and Columbus.
Western.
We got. I was not ready for the predictions yet. Jeez.
No. We're going like this. Our producer Eric Rossi has the spread on all these. He's kind of like Bear from College Game Day, and he's running the numbers on this stuff.
We got Gibbons in Booker T. I mean, just then for the last.
Booker T.
The last one, the best for last. We got Heritage versus the West.
Pats by 90.
I'm excited about that game. Always felt very highly about Broward teams over day teams. I think Heritage is gonna show out this weekend, and I'm really looking forward to that game.
Right.
Pats by 90.
He say Pats by 90. I say Pats by 100.
I'm gonna say Pats by 10.
There we go.
By 10. I mean that sounds
I'm gonna
more
say
realistic.
by 10.
That sounds more realistic.
Yeah, but we're showing a little home team favorite for that one. I mean, all those teams we just named are very historic in their football programs. They're all doing great things. To clash at this point in time in the playoffs, to where it was at one point to where a lot of these teams were all going to the playoffs. They didn't have to play each other. I mean, to see this type of football, down in South Florida is only right, to all the football heads, and I'm really excited. I'm looking forward to it.
It's a hotbed down here, man. I mean, there's some good games.
That's right.
There's some incredibly good games, and all these teams have a good shot of, making it to the final and really making a run.
Exactly.
I think this round in South Florida is the state championship for real, man. I don't think anybody from North Florida can beat any of these teams.
One of those teams. I think each one of these South Florida teams will at least make it to the semifinal, if not the final, and have their say in what the situation's going to be in the end, if they're going to be champions or not.
Most definitely.
Absolutely.
So, if you can go to 2 games, which is probably not possible. I mean, it's probably possible. It's all in Broward, so who knows? But if you can go to 2 games and watch two games out of the teams we just spoke about, what 2 games would it be?
Well, I'm going to be at the Heritage Northwestern game. That's a given.
If you
and then
you had to go to 2 games,
so the other game I'd probably attend is probably Booker T.
Absolutely.
I'd go to the Booker T game.
Absolutely.
That's in Broward or at Traz?
It's at Gibbons.
Oh,
It is at Gibbons.
all right.
Yeah,
That's
it
even
is.
better.
Nope. If I had to go to 2, I'm definitely taking Heritage, and in the second game, I would have to go see Dillard and Central, only because Dillard's been down for so many years, and to see that hopefully maybe they could get over the hump, and Central's been their hump for a while. If they can get over this hump, I mean,
And they're going through an offensive coordinator change as well, man. So
Yeah.
and their defense hasn't been very, very good lately, man. So.
yeah, not Central like. I can definitely say, being in a house full of Dillard alums, to go watch Dillard get over that hump and to see their fan base as excited as they are to go and play Central at home.
Absolutely.
It's going to be huge for that school and huge for that for that area.
Man, shout out to Eddie Frazier, man, because he's doing a fantastic job coaching that football team right
Oh
there.
man, yes. First year head coach,
Oh.
undefeated.
Oh man.
Got a chance to go to states, barring this game Friday night. I mean, it's a lot of good things going down at Dillard. You can say that about a lot of schools. Gibbons going, looking to go back to back. Heritage is looking to get back on that status. After losing last year to Gibbons. Western, had a great playoff run last year and looking to finish it this year. And all the other programs are, looking to continue winning.
Right.
It's going to be a great night of high school football, and pretty sure Twitter's going to be lit.
Yeah. Very.
Instagram.
I'd love to get in on some of the gambling. I don't know how to. I know it's a strictly cash business, but
That's funny you say that.
Yeah.
It is, because I was thinking about the same thing the other day, because I didn't know how it worked, and I was talking with somebody and they said all you gotta do, if you put in like $10 or something like that for like a set of 5 games,
Right.
then you can cash out like
$1,000.
Yeah, I'm like,
Shout out
let
Corey
me-
Goldsby. Just kidding.
So this whole time I thought a lot of Broward people were doing fraud, and they was just doing freaking picks.
put me in touch with
Right.
that guy.
Corey,
No,
we will be calling you after this, sir.
So that's awesome. That's awesome. Let's our favorite segment of the day is college picks. We get a chance to talk a little college football.
Some hot games.
and
Make sure my producer has the spreads up. You got them up? Nope.
I think I see him right there. I think I see him right there. With our first big game, I think really the biggest game of this weekend is Penn State at Ohio State, number 2 Ohio State. What's your take in that, and what's the keys in that game for both sides?
Ohio State's they're going to start fast. You know, that's their MO.
Yeah.
They start really fast, and then they kind of coast at the end. They're known to do that over the years when they run to Urban, but they haven't really coasted a lot this year. They've kind of just been like going. They haven't really taken their foot off the gas.
Absolutely.
So if they keep their foot on the gas, I think it's not going to be a game. They're going to win by 17 points plus.
But we gotta think about it now. This is a big game for both sides.
Absolutely. It is.
History is definitely in this game.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not gonna say an early blowout Ohio State. I'm gonna say a good fourth quarter.
I'm going to say a good
Probably win by
3
2
quarters.
touchdowns Ohio State, but don't count out Penn State.
I'm going to say a good 3 quarters, and then the fourth is theirs.
I think Ohio State by 20, man.
20. Okay,
that.
I guess that's fair. They're ranked number 2 is the reason they're
Right.
ranked. But who knows if Penn State can spark up a couple early turnovers, it could be a different
We're
game.
hammering the over on that one too, boys. Just letting you know, we're hammering that.
All right. Our second game here, Texas A&M at Georgia. Obviously, Georgia's ranked number 4. They're playing for a lot. But Jimbo Fisher down at Texas A&M, 7-3. I don't think they have any SEC hopes or playoff hopes right now, but they can definitely ruin Georgia's, and they've shown early in the year, Georgia, that they can be beat. What's your take on that?
I think it'll be a tight game.
Tight game.
I'm actually thinking this one's going to be a tight game. Going to take the under. Take the under on that one. But it's going to be a tight game. Georgia's kind of struggled a little bit with finishing games. I mean, they've finished the games well, and they get the win.
Yeah.
But they're making the plays when they need to make them, which is huge.
Yeah.
But the consistency throughout the game hasn't really been there for them. So, if they're consistent, I think they'll come out with the win. But if they show their inconsistencies that they have, I think Texas A&M has a really good chance of snagging it.
That's
I'm taking
fair.
Texas A&M.
Are you taking them?
Taking them.
Okay, that's a
taking them
that's
now.
a hot take right
Yeah,
there, man.
it's a hot take. I'm taking them.
I'm going Georgia, man. Fast, violent defense. I'm taking Georgia.
That's fair. I mean, Georgia is the number 4 seed. I mean, right now they're in the playoffs, but who knows? How things will go to SEC game.
Spice things up.
Our next game here, Texas at Baylor. Baylor showing
Baylor.
tremendous strength against Oklahoma last week. Should have won. Should have won, but we know how explosive Oklahoma is. We got Adam screaming Baylor by a lot.
No, I don't think by a lot, man. I think maybe 1 or 2 touchdowns.
1 or 2 at home. Okay, at home. I don't know. I think I'm gonna take Texas.
Okay.
They shown
Hot
a lot of
take.
they shown a lot of grit. Haven't won all the games they expected, but
Right.
I think with the showing they had against LSU, I think it's some possibility that they can beat Baylor. With Baylor showing weakness, not finishing games. I don't know. I'm taking Texas by a close 7 or 10.
Listen, Baylor's got this one in the bag. Everyone knows that. Matthew McConaughey's going to be at the game, and he's not going to be happy with what he sees. Baylor's loss last week was because of Oklahoma having such an elite quarterback in Jalen Hurts. That's
That's-
the only reason why
that's
they
fair.
lost. That was the X factor.
That's fair.
They didn't even have
Underestimate.
what's his name, C.D. Lamb.
Yeah,
They didn't
yeah,
even have
yeah.
C.D. Lamb. If they had C.D. Lamb, I don't think Baylor. It's a different game.
You're right. I believe
But
it.
that's why Baylor lost last week. They're going to come out this week with a nasty taste in their mouth, and I think they're going to put it to the Longhorns. Hate to say it, but they are. Sorry, Matthew McConaughey. I followed you on Instagram. I know it's new to you, but
All right, and I think for the we have to talk about this because obviously Bama is Bama. With Tua being hurt, Tua being out for the season, Bama still is Bama. I mean, we've seen a lot of years where that defense have carried their team totally with so many touchdowns, so many turnovers. Does Bama still have a chance to make it to the playoffs?
yes,
Yeah.
100%.
1,000%.
The reason being is that they have such a strong team all around.
Correct.
The quarterback doesn't make their team. It definitely benefits them, but they always have the next man up that can step in there and put on a solid enough performance for them to make it to that stage. So I have no
agree.
doubts. I have no doubts in Alabama. They'll be
And-
fine.
And a lot of people's been saying, the committee looks at, your talented players, and with Tua being a Heisman candidate, looking at him changing that, and they may think maybe they're not worthy of a spot with losing to LSU, and hopefully they finish out strong, but we'll see how it goes with the other teams. But I think they have a huge chance. It's definitely going to be two SEC teams playing in the playoffs.
I mean, I think your Final Four, if you're really going to think about it, it's got to be Ohio State, LSU, Bama, and then the fourth is kind of a toss-up.
How dare you leave out Clemson? How dare?
Clemson will get in, but you never know what's
But it's
going
a
to
tough
happen.
one. It is.
We talk about consistency, and we talk about just overall just dominance, and they've shown it. So
They've
you-
shown it.
you
They'll
can't-
end up getting in. I'm just, you don't know what's
That's
going to happen
that's
with
a hot
politics.
take. That's a hot take. I can't believe you left out
That's a hot take.
that ACC champions. Not only they didn't just beat Bama last year, they demolished Bama.
They're flying under the
with
radar
a sophomore
right now.
team. Well,
They're flying
senior
under the
sophomore
radar.
team. Sophomore offense.
They're under the radar.
Yeah, I mean it's fine until they get to the playoffs, and they're gonna represent
Yeah,
for the
then they'll be
ACC.
fine.
Yeah, they'll be fine.
And Trevor Lawrence is a hard guy to stop, man. But
He is, and that receiving core is dangerous. A lot of speed.
You would know.
Yeah, that's right. Freaking speed. It's crazy. They don't really have a lot of Florida dudes on the team.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I do recall, though, we've obviously gone up against a lot of good receivers. I went up against the Marquise Scatling. He plays for the Bears now. Or not the Bears, the Packers with Aaron Rodgers. Dude can fly. I was in the slot covering him, and he's lined up on me, and I'm looking over, and I look over, and Quentin Flowers is the quarterback, good friend of ours. And I look over, I go, oh shit, he's throwing the ball at me. Like, this dude's a blazer. He's going to run right by me.
Oh,
Luckily,
my
I got
God.
my hands on him. So, he threw a long foul ball. Slowed him up enough.
I'll take it.
But I was like, all right, boys. Got the sign. I was like, listen, I ain't covering him ever again. He's too fast, dude. That guy can fly.
That's right. Alrighty, we're wrapping it up here with Underestimated Podcast 2.0 with our guest Adam Bernard.
Thanks for coming, Adam. I really appreciate you.
hey guys, thanks for having me, man.
Shout out to our producer, Eric Rossi. Loves the drug.
Underestimate.